Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary peoples. This is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary Fantasy Football Talk for Wednesday, October 12th, 2022. You are not staring at a, what's the word I'm looking for? A false screen. I'm just recording away from myself today, and I don't really want to go for a walk and record. So I'm going to just record from my garage. You're going to stare at this Columbus Blue Jackets logo and our nice little lawnmower that we got here, and one of our many couches that we have sitting in the garage. The garage is actually a nice spacious area. It'd be nice if we utilized it more. When it starts getting cold out here, I'm probably gonna start parking my car in here again. But anyway, I'm not feeling good about the way I look. I need to buy some razors, which I've been neglecting, and I'm just not. I'm a little depressed about the way I look, the fact that I can't get any girls, the fact that I had a moment of weakness while in Tucson. I had a 24-hour thing on my Tinder profile where I was offering to pay women to, spend time with me, and it didn't work. And so it's like, I don't understand. Like, I know I'm not the greatest looking guy in the world, I will openly admit that. But I also don't think I'm like, look like Uncle Fester or Gollum or anything, like that. So I don't get it. I did have some matches in Tucson, so it wasn't a completely wasted effort. It just, none of them talked to me, so it's pointless. And I did get a match because I was in Salt Lake City for like an hour and a half, and I got a match there too. She was really pretty. Also didn't respond to me. Typical stuff. Yeah, I think I mentioned yesterday that I saw the most beautiful one in the world in Tucson, and I am still thinking about her, and it's been since Saturday. Man, she blew my mind. I wish I was not such a chicken shit and I just talked to her, but again, she was at work. It's busy. I don't want to bother them at work because that's already going to put them on edge. They're already on edge, they're already stressed out. And then I just, a woman like that who looks that damn good, I have no chance. I'd have to be like a billionaire. That's just what I tell myself. I psych myself out, and it's just, I wish I was a different person. Honestly, I wish I was a completely different person. I don't like my own personality, so I don't blame women for not liking my personality. I don't like who I am, but this is who I am. This is who I've been for 35 years. I don't know how to change it. They say that you always regret the things you don't do, not the things you do, and that's completely accurate. I very rarely regret what I do. I don't like to apologize for what I do, but I always regret what I don't do, and I usually instantly regret it, like not talking to that girl, and I'll probably never see her again, unless I move there, which I do still plan on doing because I love that city. It's just, every time I go there, everyone's just super friendly, and I've already made friends there. The vibe is good, the weather, I can be outside all the time, and get the exercise that I crave. No seasonal depression. There's just plenty to do there. I always find plenty to do there. I always leave there every time I go there wanting to stay longer because I just have such a good time there. I got a almost $32 tip from Uber for lunch today, which was outstanding. It was a massive order. The guy ordered, he's going to some insurance building, and the guy ordered like 6 pizzas, and then 4 salads, and then 2 2-liters. It took me 2 trips to get it from the restaurant to my car, and it took me 2 trips to get it from my car to where it was getting delivered to, and it was upstairs. And I was kind of snippy with the guy because he I feel bad about it. I just, again, this is part of my personality. I don't like who I am, but I am who I am. But the estimate, it was a 5.7 mile trip. the tip estimate was $11.50. Those are the kind of trips that I love, or trips, like that, where the payout is a lot farther than the distance. So I was already expecting to get a decent tip, but man, he went from a $11.50 delivery to a $35 delivery, and I was like, this is awesome. Despite me being a little jerk to him, he tipped me 20 extra bucks. So pretty excited by that. It's been a really good Wednesday, which is rare for Uber. Wednesday's usually the crappiest day. But let's get to it. Tight ends and quarterbacks, doing them both together. Spikes and Yikes. I know you guys can't see me, but I'm doing the motion thumb up, thumb down in opposite directions right now. Let's start with the quarterbacks top 10 list. I really don't have a whole lot to talk about in the top 10. I think it's a pretty solid top 10 list. I mean, maybe I would change, move some guys up, move some guys down, but it's a pretty solid list. So we don't have a whole lot of stuff to focus on there, but we're going to get to the top 10 anyway. Number 1 is Josh Allen against the Kansas City Chiefs. That game is going to be phenomenal. And I cannot wait to watch it on Sunday. Number 2, we got Lamar Jackson at the New York Giants. Number 3, we got Jalen Hurts versus Dallas Cowboys. This could be a bit of a struggle game for Jalen Hurts because the Cowboys defense is no joke. Number 4, we got Kyler Murray. He's on the top 5 against the very porous Seattle secondary in Seattle. Number 5, we got Patrick Mahomes versus the Buffalo Bills. Patrick Mahomes is down at 5 because he's facing a tough Bills defense, but don't be surprised if at the end of the week he's higher than 5th. Number 6, we got Tom Brady at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 7, we got Justin Herbert versus the Denver Broncos. Justin Herbert is clearly struggling with the rib injury and the absence of Keenan Allen. I don't know if it's one more than the other or if it's just both. So he's kind of dropping down these ranks. And Broncos are a tough matchup for him, but Keenan Allen should finally be back this week after taking a month off. 8, we got Geno Smith making his first appearance in the top 10. Geno Smith versus the Cardinals in Seattle. 9, we got Joe Burrow at the Saints. And 10, we got Kirk Cousins at the Dolphins. Kirk Cousins is in the top 10 because the Dolphins secondary, despite all the talent it has, Xavier Howard, Byron Jones out there. They have a safe, Javon Holland. They have good secondary, so I don't know why they're getting gouged, but they're getting gouged. They have faced some tough quarterbacks though, but Kirk Cousins should. So that gets Kirk Cousins in the top 10. Joe Burrow is down at 9 because the Saints defense is pretty good. Much better real life defense than fantasy defense so far this year. And T. Higgins is presumed to be out at this point. It is still Wednesday though. There are 4 days left until game time. That could change. So the Yikes. I have actually more Yikes than Spikes, but I usually don't like to spike guys in the top 10, but I think I'm gonna have to this week. My Yikes. Again, I hate to pick on the old man, but Tom Brady is at 6. I don't understand why he's climbing the ranks when he's not producing super well. Honestly, I didn't look to see what Tom Brady did last week. I was completely stressed out and busy all Sunday doing traveling and airport bullshit. So I didn't really get to follow any of the games after like the first hour. So I don't know how Tom Brady looked because I only keep track of the players that I own. I don't have Tom Brady in any league, so I didn't see what his final stat line looked like. I'm assuming it must have been good because he's moving up the ranks and he will be facing the Steelers, who are, again, a better real-life defense than fantasy defense. They are missing TJ Watt, but the secondary is still good. They still have Minka Fitzpatrick. I don't know why Tom Brady is ahead of Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, or even Geno Smith. I can't believe we're saying that. Why is Tom Brady ahead of Geno Smith in the quarterback rankings? But that's the reality of Week 6 fantasy football. This is why we enjoy. This is why it's so much fun, because you just never know. It's all about luck. Nobody was picking Geno Smith to be a breakout fantasy quarterback this year. My other Yikes, we got Russell Wilson down at 12. Russell Wilson, I was being patient with him because I know that he's always a slow starter. He always takes September off and gets it going in October. And he did look good in week 4. He looked good, and I thought, okay, Russell Wilson's back to being Russell Wilson. It's October now, but he looked awful in the Thursday night game, and so we have to kind of wonder if Russell Wilson is a little washed. If it's coaching, we know that he's hurt. He had a minor procedure after the game on Thursday, so hoping he's okay. He's usually a pretty durable guy. So, and he did have a short semi-bye week, so he should be good to go, presumably close to 100% healthy. But it is still concerning to me the way that Russell Wilson has played through the first month plus of the season. And even in a 12-team league right now, I don't know if I would start him. I think there might be better options. And then at 14, we're going to yike Carson Wentz. So if you're in a 2 QB league, you have Carson Wentz, you should probably bench him. Not a top 20 guy for me right now. He is bipolar. Like, he looked so good for the first 2 weeks, and then he's looked terrible the last 3. And this has been a thing throughout his career since he got hurt in Philly. Since last year with Doug Peterson, this has been a theme. Like, he'll look really good, and he'll look really bad. There's no in between. There's no just Carson Wentz is just average today. There is no, I don't know if it's bipolar or if it's a manic would be the proper description, but I don't blame Pat McAfee. If you guys follow Pat McAfee, he was 100% accurate, 100% right on his analysis of Carson Wentz, and you guys should watch that. You have to go back a few months to the end of last season, or just when the season ended. So back to about January, February, to find the Pat McAfee, Carson Wentz stuff, and it is spot on. But I would not trust Carson Wentz against the decent Bears defense this week, even in a 2-team or 2 QB or super flex league. And then my spikes, we're going to spike Justin Herbert. I think having Keenan Allen back is going to help him get back into that top 5 conversation. And then Joe Burrow, I don't care how good the Saints defense apparently allegedly is. I think Joe Burrow is going to have a better week than Tom Brady and Geno Smith. So I have him in the top 8. And then way down at number 20, Jimmy Garoppolo against the Falcons. He's been getting better and better every week. He now is reestablishing George Kittle, who we'll talk about later in the tight ends segment. In the passing game, he's got Deebo Samuel, he's got Brandon Ayuk. He's got plenty of weapons. I think Garoppolo is much more than a low-end QB2 this week. He's a top 15 play for me, and I would start him over Carson Wentz. Moving on to the tight ends. Here's your top 10 list. We got Travis Kelce coming off a 4-touchdown game on Monday night versus the Buffalo Bills. Again, that Chiefs-Bills game is going to be phenomenal. I hope everybody gets to watch it. 2, we got Mark Andrews at the Giants. So we got Baltimore players at 2. Lamar Jackson at 2 for the quarterbacks, and Mark Andrews at 2 for the tight ends. 3, Zach Ertz all the way up at number 3 against the Seahawks, against that terrible Seahawks secondary. So if you're noticing a theme here, any Cardinals pass catchers are trending way up this week. Number 4, Tyler Higbee versus the Panthers. Number 5, Dallas Goedert versus the Cowboys. Dallas Goedert always plays well against the Cowboys. In fact, here's a fun fact for you. The Dallas Cowboys are actually named after Dallas Goedert because he is their daddy. Oh, I thought that was a good joke. Hope you guys laughed at that. Number 6, we got George Kittle, who's actually coming off his first decent game of the season. We'll see if this is going to become a trend. It should be a trend. I mean, this is what George Kittle has done throughout his career. But it is the first game this year where he did anything and was more of a pass catcher and less of a blocker. So it's a little hard to trust him, but if you have him, especially coming with the momentum coming off last week, you're probably starting at the 7. You got David Njoku versus the Patriots. David Njoku, to my surprise, is having a really fantastic year at the tight end position. He's still been widely available up till this morning in a lot of leagues. Number 8, Kyle Pitts versus the 49ers. Number 9, you got Gerald Everett versus the Broncos. And number 10, we got Pat Freiermuth versus the Buccaneers. All right, so my yikes, I only have 2 guys in the top 10 who concern me right now. That's Kyle Pitts. He's coming off an injury. He didn't play last week, so he's still questionable now. He may not play. But also the 49ers defense is the #1 fantasy defense right now. Kyle Pitts has not been a factor through the majority of the season up to this point. It's hard to trust him against San Francisco. Kyle Pitts is outside my top 10. I would be looking for someone else to start this week. And then Gerald Everett coming off a 1-catch performance last week. With Keenan Allen back, I think this is going to hurt Gerald Everett. And the Broncos, again, like I mentioned in the Justin Herbert segment, are a tough matchup, a tough secondary. So given what we saw from Gerald Everett last week, I'm also having a hard time trusting him here in week 6. He's outside my top 10 as well. 3 guys outside the top 10 who I think could play their way into the top 10. Starting with number 11, Hayden Hurst at the Saints. We saw what Hayden Hurst can do. He's had 2 really great weeks for the Bengals. We know that the tight end for the Bengals is a pretty inconsistent position in fantasy, but I do wholeheartedly believe that Hayden Hurst is easily the most talented tight end that they've had in the Joe Burrow era. And with T. Higgins out, I think Hayden Hurst is going to continue his positive momentum from week 5 and put up a top 10 tight end week. I've been picking him up in a lot of leagues because it looks like it's time to move on from Tyler Conklin. And also I dropped Gerald Everett. So I got Hayden Hurst over Gerald Everett this week. Hayden Hurst is a top 10 play for me. And then for teaming Dalton Schultz, I know he's been completely invisible since Cooper Rush has been in there, which is concerning. But Dak Prescott's return is imminent. It potentially could be this week, probably week 7. And when Dak does get back on the field, Dalton Schultz is going to vault back into the top 6 at the tight end position. He also is injured. He's getting healthier week by week. I don't know. I know Dalton Schultz has been getting dropped a lot. I picked him up a couple of leagues. He's my tight end 2 right now. But when he does reestablish himself, does get reincorporated into the passing attack for Dallas, he will be trade bait for me to upgrade possibly at another position. And I think it's only a matter of time before Dalton Schultz reestablishes himself in the pecking order of the top 10 tight ends. So I'm keeping an eye on him this week. He's at 14 against the Eagles, especially since if this game goes as predicted, as you know, the Eagles are undefeated in Dallas, it's kind of just scraping by with good defense. This game could get out of hand for Dallas. They could have to throw the ball more than they probably want to, which bodes well for Dalton Schultz. And then way down at 21, we got Will Dissly versus the Cardinals. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but the Cardinals, for a number of years, were terrible at covering the tight end. They seem to have shored that up a little bit this year, but they're still vulnerable. Will Dissly is still a guy who's gonna sneak in a touchdown every other week. And I'm pretty sure he didn't get one last week, so this is probably the week Will Dissly gets a touchdown for Seattle. Just a hunch that Will Dissly is going to be a top 15 tight end for the week. Who knew that Will Dissly was going to remain the tight end 1 in Seattle, even with Noah Fant on the roster. That's it. That's the whole video. Sorry for the long, exasperated sigh there. I don't know what that was about. Just a little depressed. You know, I said it at the top of the video, but I'm a little depressed. It's laundry day. Already got my darks done. Working on my lights now. I know it's still pretty nice outside, still pretty warm, but it's probably time to reincorporate the long sleeve shirts back into the rotation. What else am I going to do today? Oh, I watched Amsterdam yesterday. Not a terrible movie, but not a super enthralling movie either. I found myself getting pretty bored. And it's kind of this tired storyline. Honestly, I'm kind of just over the whole World War II Nazi angle. Like, it's been played out so many times. And but it was well acted. Christian Bale, you know, always delivers. John David Washington. There's a lot of times where he sounds exactly like his dad. He doesn't look like his dad, but he has the same voice. And then Margot Robbie looked as good as ever. Like, I mean, she'll never top the way she looked in Wolf of Wall Street. That was absolutely top 5 all time best, sexiest roles ever. But she looked pretty good with dark hair in this movie. Amsterdam. Yeah, well acted, well made. Just not the most interesting story, in my opinion. I still need to see Smile. I've been kind of putting off watching Smile because I was hoping that it's Halloween season. I might find a date to go with me to watch that movie, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen, and I'm not gonna put Smile off much longer. So I'm probably gonna go watch that one. Not today, probably not tomorrow, but sometime this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Since Amsterdam was really the only movie that came out this week. So yeah. That's it. I've been rambling for a long than 20 minutes. You guys been staring at the same thing for more than 21 minutes. I apologize to you. But yeah, I'll get to defense, special teams later on today probably. And then wide receiver, running backs. I'm going to make sure I do them both this week. Peace, love, nacho fries. Best wishes, good luck. Hit me up with questions, concerns, criticisms, whatever. Bye.